But just starting on BBC Two is the omnibus edition of EastEnders. And here on BBC Wales, it's time for Weekend Rugby Union.
To Bleddyn Taylor, back to 12 Pierce. Good running by the New Zealander. Mark Brown 7 in close support. 22 of the police.
Good afternoon. At the end of quite an eventful rugby week, which has seen a B international in France, the nomination of a senior squad to prepare for the test against Fiji, and also quite an important media occasion, which included a top award to a leading player. So really there is plenty in our programme for you to enjoy this afternoon, including the best of the action from the very attractive match which is about to take place here. This is Waterton Cross, unmistakably the headquarters of South Wales Police, who are at home today to Pontypool. Well, certainly with their unbeaten record, Pontypool are, you might say, an immovable object. Can the police turn out to be an irresistible force? Well, let's put that question to the Chief Constable, Davies, who is here this afternoon rather in your capacity as chairman of the rugby club. Pontypool, an awesome prospect.
An awesome prospect indeed for any club. Play to a pattern, consistent every week. Like so many, I would be saying if we can only have 40% of the ball, we'll have a running game, we'll have a go at them.
They're top of the unofficial championship table, in fact top of most tables. In that particular table, your boys are third.
Yes, well, we've been fifth. We finished fifth the last 2 seasons. We're third at the moment, a topsy-turvy start, as everyone knows, in Welsh rugby. But we're hoping to consolidate, and we'd like to be there at the end of the season.
One way of consolidating, of course, is by working better players into the team. And David, it must be said, occasionally you get into hot water for what some people see as poaching.
Well, I don't know about poaching, but the police being a fit and active young men's job, it's not unnatural for men with sporting instincts to apply to join. They're taken on merit. My problem is I cannot demonstrate to you the number of first-class rugby players that have been turned down for the police. But happily this week, as you know, fixtures have been restored with Neath, and hopefully, if we can arrange a date, they're coming here at the end of the season, and that's wonderful news for us, because we've great respect for the Neath club.
It's not so wonderful news that 1 or 2 of your international players are not fit to play against Pontypool today. Let's have a look at your team. How does it strike you?
Well, Martin Morris and Richie Donovan have been out all the season. Neil Harris has been out just recently. But for all that, we've brought in some youngsters. We're delighted that Kieran Jones got his B cap in last week.
He's the centre.
In the centre, and he's in the squad again. Bleddyn Bowen is playing some tremendous rugby. For us, of course, at outside half. The pack has been going well. Obviously, they're going to have their work cut out today. Steve Sutton, very much the forgotten man of Welsh rugby, playing some tremendous football at the moment. And, of course, the captain, the hooker, Steve Davies, who is a very, very fine all-round player.
It's very rarely indeed we get a chance to talk to a player before a game, but this is Bleddyn Taylor, Wales's leading try scorer at the moment of Pontypool. You feel like a couple more this afternoon?
Oh, I hope so. It depends if I get a lot of ball. I mean, this season with the new 2 New Zealand centres come over, the ball's been flowing a little bit more. But with a bit of more confidence I've had this year, I'm scoring a few more tries than normal.
We'll see, something to suit the weather. Let's have a look at the team and hear about these 2 New Zealanders, Scott Pearce and
Shaun Lineen. Scott is the bigger of the 2. I know he's about 6'3". He's very, very big, big striding centre. He can play in the wing as well. And then you've got Shaun Lineen, a slightly different player, a bit more, jinky, that sort of person. They complement each other well in the centre. It's the first time, I think, today that they've actually played together, so a little bit of an experiment today.
We noticed David Bishop is not there. The name is S. Johnson.
Yeah, Shaun, he's a very good player, a good understudy to David. I think what they're looking at is to play Shaun in a few games coming up to the Cup. Hopefully that if there's any injuries, he'll fit in well and blend in with our pattern of play.
Your number 8, Adrian Jones, Bleddyn, is on his debut.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Adrian, actually. I've seen him training last Monday, and he came second in the sprint over 100, so he's pretty sharp.
And finally, you know a lot about the skipper today.
John Perkins. Yeah, there's not a lot you can say about him, really. He's very, very sort of demanding bloke on the pitch. If you don't give your all, then he makes you aware of the fact that you've got to tighten up a bit,
The referee is from Scotland, Mr. Thomson, Gus Thomson.
attractive visitors at Waterton Cross in the shape of Pontypool, who really have begun the season in sensational form with 17 wins in succession. That's the size of the task awaiting the police. This is Peter Lewis on halfway. Good distribution, but a little fumble by Pontypool's stand-in for David Bishop today, Shaun Johnson, whom we'll see wearing 9. Number 9 for the police is Nigel Whitehouse. The captain of the police, Steve Davies, that's his strike. Notice how Pontypool keep the drive on. They've made it horribly awkward for the police back row. They're in big trouble. But an incident on the ground leading to a penalty against the visitors. This is the police's Welsh international at standoff half, Bleddyn Bowen. That was quite a kick. What a tremendous line kick by Bleddyn Bowen, and he's taken the police into an excellent attacking position. So the police three-quarters lined up hungrily in the foreground. And can these forwards take some possession of the distinguished pack opposite? The thrower will be Steve Jones. He's aiming for Moseley halfway down the line, and the tall young B-cap does the first job for Pontypool close to their posts. This time the penalty goes the visitors' way, and they could do with that. The ball is with Goldsworthy. On the left, Pontypool have the international Mark Brown at the back wearing 7. Alan Carter wears 6. A man on his debut, Adrian Jones, is wearing number 8. That's the reshaped Pontypool back row. Number 4, you can see further down the line, is worn by the captain, John Perkins. But it was Moseley who got the hand of the ball. This is Johnson. Very vertical. The police fullback Hughes, 15, advancing, but not calling, and therefore not making the ball his own. It's back with Bowen. It's in touch. Steve Sutton, the international at the heart of the police pack. He won his 2 caps for Wales a few years back. But some say that he's jumping and scrummaging harder than ever. Anyway, they're on the wrong end of that decision, he and his teammates. And another chance for Goldsworthy to push Pontypool upfield. Phil Bennett, a lot of whistle already from this Scotsman.
Yes, Mr. Thomson is really trying to lay the law down, sort things out early on here. And maybe it's not a bad thing, and perhaps then when he settles down we can get on with the game.
Pontypool, a mixture of new faces and very well-known ones. At the front is Bobby Windsor for the visitors. Perkins just behind him. Mike Crowley is tucked in, and Moseley, the 6'6" giant, jumping in the middle. Steve Davies on the police 22. Moseley did the job. Johnson breaks. Steve Jones, the hooker of Pontypool, can't quite catch up with the ball. This time a Pontypool throw, still on the police 22. Mark Brown, the winner of the ball. The 2 New Zealanders in the centre, Lineen and now Pearce, combining well, coming back to the 22, looking for the second phase. Johnson bends. Goldsworthy receives. It's a chip for Goff Davies to run for. It's in touch seemingly. Yes, it is. Tremendously reliable try-poacher on the Pontypool right. Goff Davies, 14. 7 minutes into the game. That's Windsor tidying up possession. 2, Steve Jones goes round. That's a tremendous maul. The police line is only a few metres away now, as the tremendous pack works hard. Away goes Goldsworthy, runs into Bleddyn Bowen, and number 7 for the police, Jeff Roach. And here comes Mark Brown, 7, trying to thread his way through the defence and find Perkins. Under the bar of South Wales Police, Johnson using the ball. Goldsworthy, they must have a man over. Can Goff Davies go, or will Peter Lewis score? He's held just short. Tremendous excitement, Phil, worth another look at that.
Pontypool sucking in the defence. Goldsworthy decides to go on, but this is typical Pontypool play. They don't spread the ball wide there. They want to drag the cover in there, and eventually it's perfect ball along the blind side. And Mark Brown again, another typical piece of Pontypool play, sucking them in, not content to leave it go out. Good support play. They're there in strength. Good ruck in. And yet they gave the third time they use a narrow side. Now they should really have scored here. They've got men over, a bit of straight run in, and Goff Davies would have been in, but good cover and the movement is stopped.
That was Moseley with some help from Crowley. Pearce to Bleddyn Taylor. Back to 12 Pearce. Good running by the New Zealander. Mark Brown, 7 in close support. 22 of the police. So there's no doubt that the Pontypool back division wants to play rugby if the forwards will give them a share of ball. That's the police's 22. And that's a charge down by Mark Brown. Now that was tremendous technique. Mark Brown not knocking on, getting in front of the ball and being so careful about the way he secured it. No knock on by the flanker. This really is a good chance for the visitors to open their score. If they could take this ball from the police. Moseley's poised to jump very high and does so. Windsor at the front, tidies up. And they spin them all towards the corner flag, which is very close at hand. Now delivered. Brown's waiting for it. It's a pre-rehearsed move. Goldsworthy, Pearce. He's shown his penetration before, but the police are lucky with this one. A great touch finder. Andrew Hughes, a local boy born in Bridgend, a big fellow, but just 19 years of age, and a good clearance by him, pleased the crowd. The line-out defence by Pontypool. And Bleddyn Bowen will kick it goal from allowing for the angle 50 metres. Can Bleddyn Bowen put the police into the lead? It won't swing in. Safety first. (11 minutes of a featureless first half remaining. A dropout 22 by Pontypool, and players being taken out in front of the forward drive illegally, and the police get another penalty, another kick and goal.
It's bad discipline by Pontypool. It's a lovely dropout, hanging in the air, giving the forwards every chance to get under it, but instead of going for the ball, they just barge the police. There he goes. Look, Sutton's got no chance. He's barged right out of the way.
After failures by Bleddyn Bowen, the police have brought up Clive Barber to kick at goal. A very good chance to open the scoring. How's the ball travelling? It's there. It's help from the woodwork, but Clive Barber has nosed South Wales police ahead. Just a little bit against the run of play, but certainly the police playing with confidence against their mighty opponents. And now in front. The referee coming to have a look at the angle of shove of the props on our side. Goff Davies, the man in the foreground. He might have a chance of a run here at the corner flag. Police defence very alert. They draw man, and Goff Davies. The referee gives the try. It was a messy affair in the end, but he got the ball to ground on the line, it seemed to me, and that's Goff Davies' 12th try of the season. Another look at this, what happened, the incident on the flag, Phil.
Yes, it's the number 8 does very well. It's a good solid scrum. He takes that man in. The scrum half's got an option. Now watch closely. Goes over the line there, just over the line, but his feet were dangerously near the corner flag.
Look at the referee, Phil. He is right there.
Good positioning.
Within the police 22, Steve Davis aims long for David Rees, but it's captured by Pontypool, and Shaun Johnson is right under the bar. Moseley picks up. Pontypool pack and sniff points. Bobby Windsor, number 1, joins in. He wanted a bit of glory himself. Perkins sends it to Lineen. Pearce, Peter Lewis scores. That was a high-pressure try. It's scored by Dr. Peter Lewis, and it's Pontypool's 2nd try in the space of 3 minutes. Well made the fullback smile.
From the line out, good ball, good tap. And look at this run by the scrum half. He runs right at the heart of the police defence. And this is, again, typical Pontypool play. They drive in yet again to set up the ruck. John Perkins acting as a scrum half there initially. Driving again, and yet another ruck. In they go again. And they move the ball, and it's just got to come. Peter Lewis got a man outside, decides to sell the dummy, goes in for a lovely try. But it was set up by the forwards with the rucks.
That's a beautiful conversion of his own try. And suddenly Pontypool have woken up and have zipped to a lead of 10 points to 3. That was Lineen. They missed Pearce, and Bleddyn. Taylor is in the action. Acceleration. Good covering by Little Whitehouse for the police as the play moves into the 22 of the home side. The midfield want to play, don't they, Phil?
Yes, the 2 New Zealanders look very sharp, and it's nice to see them moving the ball. Now, I'm going to just look for this now. The police number 10, there's good running by Taylor, but look at Bleddyn Bowen struggling. Look at him limping there. Look, he can't get at him there. And that must be good running by Pontypool, but that must be worrying news for the police and for the Welsh selectors.
That's a real blow for the police. Bleddyn Bowen going for the field. We think that it looks as if he has a thigh injury, but that's robbed them of a very important element in the side. Well, that was the last significant incident of the first half. We reached the interval with the scoreline looking like that. Pontypool in a 7-point lead. We rejoin the action now a little way into the second half. John Perkins will not be unhappy that Pontypool are leading this little way into the second half. 10-3. He's doing his fair share of hard work in the front. He's got a sturdy opponent in Stuart Prosser there. Here comes Whitehouse. Right through the Pontypool back row. They won't be happy about that at all. Peter Lewis is in big trouble. David Rees, the police number 8, arrives to harass him. The ball is not released on the ground. A penalty opportunity in an optimum position. Peter Lewis well and truly caught then. Good bit of work by Whitehouse for the police. A chance for Clive Barber to trim Pontypool's lead for the police. It swings in. It's worth 3 points. That'll put fresh heart into the police, and the gap is cut to just 4 points. Steve Sutton towering above a line out on the police 10-metre line. And the referee has no hesitation at all in awarding the penalty.
You can see there that Steve Sutton is climbing all over Moseley, and the referee was quite right to give a penalty. They've been having a battle all afternoon.
Peter Lewis, 50 metres out. It looks very promising. Good kick by the fullback. 16 minutes of the second half gone by. A good pounce by David Rees. South Wales Police is number 8 from the Pontypool area. That's him. He's a big lad. He's 6'3". Now, a really tremendous position for Pontypool to attack from. The man in the foreground is Bleddyn Taylor. I wonder if the ball will be turned his way. It's controlled by Adrian Jones, who drives to the line, looks for number 4, Perkins in support. Whistle again. Penalty, a kickable one for Peter Lewis and Phil Bennett. I haven't been keeping account, but an enormous number of penalty awards.
Yes, I think Mr. Thomson has wanted to stamp his authority on the game. He's done a good job, but what I would like to see now is a little bit more leniency. Let the game flow, and I see some running rugby out there.
And Welsh crowds have seen Pontypool win matches this way so many times. They exert the pressure, they turn the screw, and Dr. Lewis arrives to claim 3 points. That's how they like to win, and indeed they're well on victory course now. They're up to a lead of 16 points to 6. Still seems to me there's an opportunity on the blind side here if Pontypool choose to use it. Johnson slips it in. Taylor seems to be alert. Goldsworthy is moving to the left, number 10, and he's a decoy because Johnson goes, looks inside for the supporting back row forward, and it's snapped up by Adrian Jones. So on his debut for Pontypool, the young number 8 forward snaps up a try, the 3rd scored by Pontypool.
It's the same old story. They grind the opposition down, wear and tear them down, and they've been attacking for the last 10 minutes or so. And it's again pressure rugby from Pontypool. Perfect ball. The scrum half makes a little dash, but it's good support by his number 8 on his shoulder to score a try.
And this could be a good feeling for Peter Lewis. It is indeed. 2 more points. And he has now totted up 14 points. So it's turning out to be a good afternoon for Pontypool, coupled with the name of their fullback. Which is amazing, Phil Bennett. There are a lot of quite strange faces in the Pontypool side, youngsters that we don't know, and yet they're turning in a classical performance of the kind their club is used to.
So typical of the coaching and simplicity they use it there, and all credit to Ray Prosser.
Thrilling run by Peter Lewis, support from Carter. What a try! Magnificent try for young Alan Carter. And really the afternoon is being lit up at last.
Pontypool really turning the screw on, putting pressure into points now. And it's the lovely burst by Peter Lewis that does the job. He goes right through the gap. Now, is there a forward pass coming here? There it is. Is it forward? It looked a bit forward from here, and I noticed 1 or 2 of the police players looking angry at the referee. But all credit to Alan Carter. He was there supporting. That's what back row forwards are there for. Tremendous try.
Well, Alan Carter, a good example of what Phil Bennett and I were just saying as the try was set up. One of the new recruits of the past 12 months or so, setting up a try for Peter Lewis to seek to convert. He puts it over. And in the Pontypool camp in the grandstand, howls of delight. They lead 28-6, and there's still time for lots more points. 15 minutes left. Right, here comes another good situation for Pontypool. Steve Davies, though, the throw for the police, and Sutton uses great height, gets right up. Here's Andrew Hughes, living suicidally and magically appearing on the other side of the Pontypool pack. Number 8, Adrian Jones, and number 1, Windsor, combined to put him down. Dean Jones, 13. Quick movement by Kieran Jones out to Barber, and he loses Pierce. Keeps running. Halfway line, Roach from Dean Jones. Tremendous attack by the police. Great score. Darryl Price rounds off a tremendous movement. Now, Phil.
Yes, here we see that winning the ball, and they've got to take chances, and I like young Hughes here. He has a go, okay, it's dangerous play, but they've got to take the chances. Some missed tackles, but he's taken the ball from behind his own line and a go, and that's good play. But now we look for some magical handling. Comes across the line. Lovely flick on pass. Now Barber does very well, because this man Pierce is fast, but he goes on the outside and beats him and comes inside. Now what we've got to look for is the tremendous support from the police players. Look, there's the flanker there, and there's 1, 2, 3, there's 5 players there, and they end up with Darryl Price getting the try, but that's tremendous support play and wonderful rugby by the police, and they fully deserve that try. Strolling over.
Here's Clive Barber. And a try that really merited it becomes worth 6 points. Shaun Johnson has the ball on the 22 of the police. Peter Lewis puts a sneaky one behind Clive Barber, and Goff Davies romps in for his second try. He scored the first of the game in doubtful circumstances, close to the flag, but that was clean cut and devastatingly finished.
I've been impressed by Adrian Jones, the number 8 this afternoon, because he's played very, very well his first game. Again, you see, he picks up and he draws that cover by that little flick pass. And the next thing is a lovely grubber kick by Peter Lewis. And this man, Goff Davies, doesn't he snap up tries? Excellent servant, and he fully deserved that try.
Well, there we are, and there's a tremendous race going on between the two wings. Goff Davies has now drawn level with Bleddyn Taylor at 13 tries each. And what is more, that's 100 tries for Pontypool this season. Sutton knew the move. It's interesting that Noble has come from full-back to scrum half now. Here's Brinkworth. Price and Roach, the two flankers working together. This is Dean Jones, and the police enjoying more possession than they've had throughout the game. Dean Jones put to earth on the halfway line. Sometimes I think Pontypool are a bit like Jaws, don't you? The way they devour everything.
Yes, they very rarely miss tackles. And for me, Mark Brown has been everywhere this afternoon. Very, very fast about the field, and I think he's done his prospects of playing for Wales against Fiji no harm at all this afternoon.
Well, the chairman of selectors with the cap on in the middle of your view is certainly got his eyes on him. Mark Brown is wearing 7 and on the open side flank. So it's his job now to block the way for Andrew Hughes. Dean Jones through the middle. How much speed has he got? He's got speed and agility. Darryl Price is there again. The support play once again is tremendous. And Nigel Whitehouse gets a very good try indeed.
This game has really come alive this afternoon, and full credit to the police. They just haven't died. They've run the ball, and it's that lovely angled run by Dean Jones to centre that does the damage. And he's running out of steam and legs there, but his good support play by the back row have been outstanding in their support play this afternoon. Number 8 there, and there's Whitehouse grabbing the try. But what the police have really come back with a lot of pride.
And that's how Pontypool see it. The try becomes worth a goal.